Hello, hello. Welcome back to Game Plan Monday. Last week, we did some amazing work with Dump It. Hopefully, you have had an opportunity to dive in and do a brain dump of your own so that you can get ready for our 75 planned challenge, which will be starting on January 1st. So, giving a little bit of follow up to the whole 75 planned. What it is a 5-step challenge for you to do every single day. And there are 5 steps. Again, the first one is dump it. The second one is plan it. The third one is do it. The fourth one is track it. And the fifth one is reflect it. And this will be a challenge that we will do every single day for 75 days. It is very similar to 75 hard, 75 social, 75 booked, just for planners, because we all know we're going to get a new planner at the beginning of the year and we want to make it past the second week. That is the goal. The goal is to make it past the second week. And whether you are using a Tool of 12 planner, you are using a bullet journal, you are using whatever kind of style of planner that you use, this challenge is right for you if you are wanting to be better at creating a plan and executing the plan in 2026. So this week, we are moving on to phase 2 of our 75 plan challenge, and that is the planet phase. Plan it, not the planets in the solar system. Plan it. And this is where things get real in the best way, because we're going to take the dump it from last week and we're going to pull something out of that list of things that we put on paper, and we're going to focus on making some kind of short-term goal so that you can actually accomplish something within the next 7 to 14 days. So if you have your planner nearby, make sure you grab it. If not, hit pause, come back, go grab it, come back, and let's map this out together. So, excuse me. Why short-term goals work. So let's start here. Long-term goals, we've all set them before. They feel exciting at first, but they also probably feel far, far away. And we have a tendency to lose momentum when we are trying to work towards a long-term goal. The satisfaction rate doesn't happen fast enough. We don't get those quick wins. And so it can feel very overwhelming and very frustrating. So we're going to set short-term goals instead, which are going to help us build momentum fast. That helps us to energize our brain. It helps to give us those quick wins that I was talking about. And it helps us to stay focused when life is busy, crazy, because let's admit it, we all wear many hats, and trying to do all the things sometimes becomes very overwhelming. So we want to stick to like little mini tasks or mini goals, as you might call them. So a mini goal, something that lasts from 7 to 14 days, is very, very doable. It's approachable. It maybe and probably and is on your dump it list. So that means it's going to fit your life. And especially for those that are trying to do a couple of things like balancing a business, maybe you're working outside the home, you have kids, you have a spouse or significant other, and you might also constantly be in the need of caffeine. I personally cannot have caffeine, but for those of you that can, I'm thinking of you. So today is definitely about choosing a goal that supports the time of life that you are in. I was watching a video by Teresa Stone today, and she was talking about seasons. Yeah, we talk about the seasons as spring, summer, fall, winter, but your life also has seasons as well, in that you are going to go through different things and they come and they go, just like a season, unless you live in Florida where it's summer all the time. So let's talk about picking a realistic goal, a realistic 7 to 14 day goal. So here's the biggest mistake that people make. They think a goal has to be huge to matter. And that is really, truly not true. A short-term goal should answer a specific question. The question that's going to answer is, what would make my life or my business feel better in the next 2 weeks? You're going to ask yourself that same thing for long-term goals, but we're asking it for a short-term goal, something that's going to help you to feel more accomplished, have a big win. So here's some examples. Send 10 follow-up messages. Follow-ups are huge. We all know that fortune's in the follow-up. If you're spending time communicating with your customers, then you're going to get some kickback from that on the positive side. Maybe creating content for the week. That's always something that needs to happen, especially if you're showing up on social media. You have to show up on social media, so building content. Maybe you have personal goals like walking 3 times a week. Maybe you have a goal to get better organized with a weekly routine so that you can look at what it feels like to have things, kind of in a way. Or maybe you're just setting up a planner system for the month. Maybe you're new to planning and the 75 challenge is going to help you to get better organized, but you got to figure out what planner style works best for you. And so maybe your short-term goal is to kind of dibble dabble in different planner styles and get those working for you. So whatever it is, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to make it very specific, and we're going to make it very realistic. We've heard about SMART goals before: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. The same thing is going to reflect here as well. So here's definitely the kicker. You don't have to pick the perfect goal. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to pick one. And the reason why we're just picking one is because we want to make sure that we're doing at least one thing every single day that will help you move closer to whatever it is that you're working on. Maybe it's a big goal and this is just a little bite-sized piece, or we're just trying to get ourselves in the process of setting goals to begin with. So let's talk about some different planner tools that we can utilize. One, definitely a weekly insert. If you are one of those people that likes a weekly plan, this will allow you to give those breakout steps every single day of the week. Now, does it matter which kind of weekly style? No. There are some people who are vertical, some people who are horizontal, some people like lines, some people like sections. It doesn't really matter. Pick your weekly insert, whatever style works best for you. That's the one that you're going to use, okay? If you are not a weekly insert person and you're more like a daily person and you are like me and you like a rapid log or a daily bullet journal, then you're going to grab yourself a journal because you can write that each day. Okay. Now, if you are using the Declutter Your Mind insert that we talked about last week with the brain dump, then this one is going to work for you because now you can take that brain dump and you can start filling in the organizational piece of it. Okay. So utilize your tools, whatever tools you have, in the best way that you can. Those are just 3 examples of what you can use: a weekly insert, a dot grid journal for rapid logging or bullet journaling, and then your Declutter Your Mind insert. Whichever of those 3 works best for you. All right, now we're going to talk about breaking those goals down, those one little goal, right? Maybe your goal is to create content for the week. We're going to break those down because 5 to 7 tiny actions helps us to feel more accomplished and also helps us to have those quick wins, and it makes the day doable. So when we're talking about plan it, we're not talking about planning this huge overarching scheme of things that you need to do for the week. We're talking about one thing. And some people might be able to go beyond that. That's great. That's fantastic. You can choose to go beyond that. But if you're just getting started with the planner, you're going to pick one thing to work on. So let's say that you are business minded and you want to create content for the week. So maybe your thing on Monday is you're going to pick topics. What topics do you want to talk about? On Tuesday, you're going to write captions, and maybe you're working a weekend ahead. So we're going to pick the topics on Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to write the captions. On Wednesday, we're going to take the photos or pick the photos if you're using stock photos from your corporation. Maybe the 4th day, you're going to film a quick video. What is that video going to be about? Well, it's going to be about the topic that you talked about or picked on Monday. And then on Friday, you're going to schedule all those posts. And then you're going to take the weekend off and you're going to come back on Monday and you're going to do those things all over again. But those are quick, tiny things. Pick a topic. What did I do today? I picked the topic of what I want to talk about. Check. That means that you plan it and you are done for the day. Now, if you want to go do other things, that's completely doable, but you did take time to plan your day. Maybe you have a personal goal to walk 3 days a week. Okay. So the first thing that you're going to do is maybe on Monday, you're going to pick your walking days. Okay. Tuesday, you're going to set out your clothes because on Wednesday, you're going to decide a time that you're going to walk. And then the last thing you're going to do is track it in your habit tracker. But we're going to talk about that in a couple of weeks because we're not to that point yet. So we're going to actually we're just planning. We're just planning all the things. So what to do if you get to the end of the week and you're like, this goal is not serving me. Friends, you do not have to keep trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. If life shifts or things happen and things come up, because they will, and your goal has to shift, that is okay. You're going to adjust the steps. You're going to maybe reduce the frequency. Maybe you wanted to do 7 days a week of your content posting on your social media, and you cannot physically do, you don't have the capacity to do 7 days. So you're going to do 5. Great. Adjust it. Reduce the frequency, change the focus. Maybe what you decided to do isn't working because it doesn't fit your season of life. Maybe it was a great idea to begin with, but you don't have the capacity or the time frame to be able to fit that into your day. It is okay for you to change the focus. Or you can totally scrap that goal and pick something else. You made a whole list of brain dumped activities last week. So it's okay for you to pick that one thing that you want to work on separately than what you started with. Maybe you want to change it up. That's okay for you to do, as long as you are working on creating some kind of plan to make something happen for your life. So now it's your turn, friends. I want you to take a look at your planner. I want to take a look at your brain dump list, and I want you to get out your weekly insert, your rapid log, or your declutter your mind insert. And I want you to pick one thing that would genuinely help you to feel more focused for the next 7 to 14 days. I want you to write it down. If it's something that needs to be broken down into steps, then break it down. And then I want you to look for those tiny, tiny pockets of time that you can actually take action. And next week, we're going to talk about the do it part of it. But right now, today, we're going to write it down, and we're going to break it down if we need to. Now, if the thing on your list is to put away your clothes and do your laundry, and by do your laundry, I mean put away the clothes that you have stacked up on the chair, on the exercise equipment, on the top of the dryer, in the dryer still, we're going to put them away. Okay, whatever that might look like. That is your challenge for this week. And I would love to hear in the comments, what goal are you working towards for the next 2 weeks? Break it down. Tell us what those goals are in the comments. Thank you guys so much again for being here for Game Plan Monday. Don't forget to like this video, share it with others, subscribe if you're following me on YouTube, and come back for phase number 3 of our 75 plan challenge, which is do it. Can't wait to see what your short-term goal is to cheer you on. You have got this, my friends. It is going to be a great Monday. I hope you all have the best one, and I will see you all soon.